Welcome to Lesson 9, Networking Basics, the Practical Kind. Here's the secret. Most network troubleshooting comes down to 4 commands and 4 questions, asked in order. Ping, curl, SSH, IP addr. Is the host alive? Is the service responding? Can I get in? And what's my own address? Master these, and 80% of network work stops feeling like guesswork. So here's what you'll walk away with. 4 skills, in the same order. Ping to test if something's reachable, with DNS resolution and round-trip time bundled in. Curl to pull anything off the web, hit APIs, inspect headers. SSH to drop into a remote machine like it's your own terminal. An IP addr to see your own networking picture. IP, MAC, interfaces, the lot. 4 tools, 1 diagnostic mindset. And here's the mental model that ties those tools together. When something breaks, you ask 4 questions in order. Am I on the network? Do I even have an IP? Can I reach the world? Does ping 8888 come back? Does DNS resolve? Same ping, but with a name? And finally, can the service actually answer? What does curl say? The first question that fails tells you exactly which command to reach for next. That's the whole game. So let's start with question 2. Ping. You send a tiny packet, the host echoes it back, and you measure the round trip. Reply means the path is alive. Timeout means it isn't. By default, it runs forever, so use -C to cap the count, or pass an IP like 1111 to test the network without dragging DNS into it. As for timing, under 5 milliseconds is LAN, 20 to 100 is normal internet, anything past 500 is hurting. Once you know the host is reachable, the next question is, does it actually speak HTTP? That's where curl earns its keep. The killer move is -I, headers only, no body, just a fast status check. 200 means you're good. For deeper work, -O saves to a file, -L follows redirects, -X picks the method, and -H plus -D let you post JSON straight from the terminal. 1 tool, the entire web. Now when curl isn't enough, and you actually need to be on the box, SSH is the answer. 1 command and your terminal is running on a server in Frankfurt. Encrypted, authenticated, done. Type the password the first time if you must, but do yourself a favor. Generate a key with ssh-keygen, push it up with ssh-copy-id, and never type a password again. Passwords get stolen. Keys don't. And that private key in .ssh, it stays on your box, always. Once you're on the box, the next question is always, who am I on this network? 3 commands cover it. IP addr lists your interfaces and their addresses. That's where you start when nothing's working. IP route shows your default gateway. The door packets walk through to leave the building. And dig asks DNS what a name actually resolves to and which server told you so. IP, gateway, name. That's the order. Now let's level up. 6 one-liners senior engineers reach for every week. Curl fconfig.me tells you your public IP, what the outside world actually sees. ss-toolapn shows what's listening locally and on which port. Need just an HTTP status code for a script? Curl with W gives you the number, nothing else. Then SCP moves files, SSH runs a single remote command and exits, and watch wrapped around curl turns any URL into a live health monitor. Memorize the shapes, the exact flags you can always look up. Here's the whole lesson on 1 page. 12 commands covering all 4 layers: link, network, transport, application, plus the daily drivers you'll actually live in: SAH, SCP, curl, dig. Screenshot it, print it, tape it to your monitor. When something breaks, you don't need to remember everything. You just need to walk the layers in order and know which command answers each question. Before you go practice, dodge these 5 traps. Ping failing doesn't mean the server's down. Lots of hosts just block ICMP, so always double-check with curl. Ping without -C will run until the heat death of the universe, so cap it. Never bake passwords into SSH commands. Set up keys once and forget them. Add -L to curl so redirects actually follow. And read your errors carefully. Connection refused means something's home but not listening, which is very different from a timeout. Different errors, different fixes. Now your turn. 3 quick exercises, real targets, nothing destructive. First, test the layers. Run addr, then ping 8.8.8.8, then ping google.com. If only the IP works, you've just diagnosed a DNS problem. Second, hit 3 sites with curl-I and read the headers. You'll learn what tech runs them. Third, compare your private IP from addr against your public IP from curl ifconfig.me. Do them now. That's how this sticks. And that's lesson 9. Ping, curl, SSH, plus IP, root, and dig. You've got the 4-layer triage, you can talk to APIs, and you can reach remote boxes with keys instead of passwords. The network isn't a black box anymore. Next up, lesson 10, bash scripting. Variables if, for, your first real script, because anything you do twice, you should automate. See you there.